Have you ever hit a big revenue milestone and thought, wait, why does this feel so overwhelming? Well, that's exactly what happened to today's guest, Manuel Hartbauer. When he hit his first 22 grand month, instead of celebrating, he realized he was freaking drowning in work. I'm Deirdre Martin, your host and business strategist, obsessed with helping entrepreneurs hit their first 100K or 1 million. And today we're going behind the scenes with Manuel, a LinkedIn growth and sales expert, to unpack the exact strategies that helped him scale his business, build a powerhouse team, and create a seamless sales system that keeps new clients rolling in without relying on any spammy tactics. Amen to that, folks. So stay tuned till the end, and here's what you'll grab today. The one simple shift that took Manuel from scattered offers to consistent 5-figure months in no time whatsoever. How he built a sales process that turns cold LinkedIn conversations into high-ticket clients. Why saying no to shiny distractions has been the secret to his massive growth. So if you're serious about mastering your business, grab your coffee and stay tuned. Manuel, thank you so much for joining us in the Master Your Business podcast. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Manuel, I am so super excited to chat with you because we have worked together behind the scenes. We've been masterminding together, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So I feel like I know a little bit about your business and what you do, and I admire it so much that I've brought you on here to share it with all of my listeners in the Master Your Business podcast. So in terms of, there's two things I want to chat with you today. Number one is you've grown your business really successfully. You have an amazing team. I want to talk about that, but also some of the strategies first and foremost that you've used to find and win clients. So let's start there. What or how did you get to the stage where you had to hire the team?
Oof. We get straight into the scaling part. Love it. What was the point where I started to get a team? It was, I think, after I solved the first problems of my business. So after I had kind of a constant revenue, I found myself in a place where I did everything for myself, and that wasn't a good feeling. It was April last year. For me, it was the highest revenue month last year to this time, and it was like 22K or something like this. And I know I hit a milestone, but I felt, am I allowed to swear? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
swear away.
And I felt like shit. That was the problem. So that was the first moment I realized that I need more help, because it was, at this point, I only got hands into my business that helped with tasks and stuff. But at this point, I realized I need brains into my business. And I think that was it's a huge difference in everything if you transfer or outsource responsibilities and not only tasks. And yeah, so that was the first moment I started to scale, when the pain got too big to do everything myself.
Okay, so let's go back a step before that. So you got to the stage where you were having constant revenue months. How did you
Yeah.
make that happen?
Actually, it was quite easy, more or less. No, it started with the offer. I have just one offer for one client or one ideal client, and I just replicate this and improve this offer over and over again. And that was the biggest part and the biggest driver for my success, I guess. Because before I did this, I had a web design project and a content design project and here a done for you thing, and everything was kind of messy. The results, there wasn't nothing I could predict, actually. And when I changed this and I went to one productized offer, that was the big differentiator, because then I knew I can work on this program. I can make it better and more efficient from my side. I can create more results with my clients, which means I can ask for more money, basically, because more results means more money. But also I get more efficient with the system and the structure. So I got my time out more and more. And that's the thing we want to have as a business owner. We want to ask for a lot of money and don't do a lot for it.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
Yeah,
okay.
you know what I mean.
I know
No,
what you mean. I know
so we
what you
can
mean.
focus on different things.
Yeah. And so let's say, so with one offer, one client, and then that helped you make that efficient. Tell me, what impact did that have on your overall messaging?
On my over, yeah, that's actually the beauty as well, because when you have the clarity with one product, one offer, one platform, for me as well, I only use LinkedIn to the day. Everything gets easier when you have it, because you know your ideal client. And if I have, I don't know, a web design project for a financial company or and for a health company, you know, the messaging gets in all the directions. So, but if you have just one product, one result, you create, and one avatar, then it's everything gets easier, because I haven't, since that moment, I haven't had the problem with finding content ideas. You know, the all of the struggles you have when you start out. What do I post? How do I talk to my clients? What do I sell? All the things that just, yeah, they were solved.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong in this, Manuel, but if memory serves me correctly, you focus specifically on the German market and that
Yes.
geography as well. So you were quite focused in terms of your niche as well and location in that way too, isn't that right?
Yeah, I'm only in the German speaking market. Yes, that's true.
Cool. And what difference or impact do you think that had? Like if for example you were English speaking and your business was English speaking, do you think that you would have looked beyond your location and thought, "Oh, I can conquer the whole of United States and Great Britain and all of the other English speaking places?"
That's actually a good question. I don't know, because I'm not in a situation, so I think it's not my opinion wouldn't be that worthy. I decided to go for the German market because the German market, it's slower and there's less competition, so it's easier to stand out. But in the English
Mm.
speaking market, you have whole America, and that's a lot basically. So I don't know. I don't know. I used to, because I think, of course, there's a smaller market overall. There are only 100 million German speaking people in the world,
Only.
but only, yeah. But the competitive advantage, it's just because everything is slower, and some trends or hypes or whatsoever, they come, I don't know, a few months or years later. And for me, I coached and took inspiration all the time from the English speaking market and just applied it to the German speaking market. I think that's the gap. Yeah.
Mm. So I think that's really cool because what you did then was you kind of micro niched if you know when I look at this as well because you did one offer for one client on one platform with a clear message excuse me, with a clear message in one language for one, not necessarily geography, because we've got German people all over the world, but
Mhm.
for
One
one
language.
geography. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what that helped you to do was to really micro niche who your audience is and then go from there to make all of that super efficient.
Yeah, that's true actually. And I think for me, as a business owner, or as a uh, growing business owner, I learned the same lections all over again and again. And I think in all the areas, it's just so important just to focus, to bring it down to the easiest thing, and then go from that basically. And I already thought last year to go on different platforms, because you have to spread, and the risk it you have less risk if you are on different platforms, and maybe all the myths basically. And I didn't do it, because I figured out for myself, I have LinkedIn as an acquisition channel, and it just works perfectly fine, and I can put a lot more effort into my LinkedIn acquisition channel and get a lot more out of it. It's a lot easier than go on Instagram, where I never have been on. I have no idea what to do on this platform. So I figured out for myself, it's just I do more of the things that works, as long as I don't get any more revenue out of it when I do it. And I think that's one of another huge lesson I learned in the last years.
That's a fantastic lesson. And I think there's something really valuable here, folks, in all of this. And like you got to the stage, Manuel, where you were making 22K months, right? And my strategy, and I'm just sharing this with you as well for people listening, my strategy was really similar to Manuel's, and that's how I got to make 100K as well. I had one offer, one client. LinkedIn was my platform of choice too, Manuel. We love it over there, right?
Good choice.
One language, English, and I did narrow my geography to specific areas. I didn't try to conquer the whole of the US. I looked at certain parts of the US where time zone worked. I didn't look at Australia because time zone, doesn't really work. Sorry to you Aussie folks who do listen to the show, and thank you so much. Please keep listening. I can still help you, but maybe, not on live coaching calls all the time. But there's beauty in that because it really does help you narrow your messaging. And then you can look at, once you have the clients coming in, that can give you insight into how this works exactly when they come in and how to make that more efficient. So this strategy, if you're somebody who's listening and you're struggling to get traction in your business, this strategy works. So try it. Okay,
That's
cool.
true, yeah.
Yeah, right. So from there, April last year, highest revenue month, 22K. You're like, oh shit, this is a lot of work. I need some
Yeah.
help. What did you do? Tell us.
What did I do? I got people in basically. And that was another huge lesson. Was April was my biggest month last year, and May was my lowest month. It was the only month I wasn't at 5 figures because I made some very disruptive changes. That was a huge learning when you do it maybe step by step.
So you
But
have to tell us now, what was your lowest month then in May? You have to give us that insight. Go on.
9,800 euros or something. So
There's
it
people
was
listening who go, fuck, I'd kill for 9,800 euro.
yeah. But from this point, I had to pay payroll, so it's kind of a difference. Yeah, no, but I know it was the first time I hit, I don't know, the 5,000 a month. I was just, what the fuck? It actually works. Yeah, so I know the feeling. The question was what I did exactly. I hired people, and I think the hiring process, for me, when I started to outsource, I wanted to outsource responsibilities because I think the most important thing as a business owner is your headspace, basically. Because if you have to think about all, does my content go out, or those things? Sorry, I think that's the hardest part. So I outsourced basically the things I knew best. So I started with content. And at this point, I already posted for, I don't know, 400, 500 days in a row. So I worked in content before. So it was very easy for me to structure, to systemize. And of course, I knew exactly what quality means. So that was the thing I started to outsource. So, and for me, when I outsourced, the biggest question is, what do I do with the time I won? And with the time I won, I use it, and I still do it. I acquired another skill that's very important for my business. And for me, it was sales. I went very, very deep into sales. I outsourced everything. And then the next step, I learned sales very good, or to the point I exactly know what quality means. We had a structure, acquisition stuff and everything, funnel basically. And then the next point was, okay, now I outsource sales. And I got people in who we have a 2-call strategy. I think we will talk about it later. But I got just people in who just did the calls for me. First, only the qualification call or discovery call, the first one, and later on the sales call. And yeah, that's just on rinse and repeat with the outsourcing stuff. I learned stuff until the point I know what quality is, and then I give it to people and try to transfer my head to them.
Okay, so I think one thing, let's be really clear on, your background is in marketing. Your background is in website stuff and things, right?
My background is in tourism, actually.
Is it what? I did not know that, Manuel.
Yeah. I went to tourism school basically, and I studied 5 years economics, and after 5 years the study was finished with me. So I canceled. I didn't finish because I was on the edge or on the brink of a depression. It was shit for me. The moment I quit the study, it was the moment I learned to love learning, basically, because I figured out I can learn everything from YouTube. What the fuck? And then I went down deep the rabbit hole, And I went 3 months to China doing Shaolin Kung Fu and came back and made myself. And I started my business basically as a web designer with no real, I don't know, I had no experience in this thing. I just thought everyone who wants to start a business needs a website. That was all of that has been my thoughts. Yeah. And I started with 500 euro website projects. And yeah, that was the first moment I got in touch with business for myself.
Amazing. So you ended up going down a rabbit hole, figuring out all that sort of stuff. What? How did I not know about those the years before?
Yeah, that's true.
And so how long were you doing that for then?
The web design stuff?
Yeah.
Only a few months, because I figured out that the people that came to me, basically it was just people I knew more or less. I figured out very fast that the website isn't the thing they needed. They needed traffic, they needed people they can talk to, and not a website who doesn't do anything if you don't have a clear offer or anything. I had no idea, from no plan from acquisition or anything back then. So I pivoted very fast into content design, writing and designing content for my clients, and then more and more into the direction of the whole profile stuff. I wrote DMs and everything just to get them calls. And then I figured out that's not the reason why I started a business, because it felt like a job. Basically, I just worked for them and not with them. And back then I had one client. I did Facebook and Instagram for him, and LinkedIn was just a side thing. And I figured out, okay, that's a platform with a lot of potential, and no one I know is on it. It was very important for me from a mindset. So I figured out, I pivot again, and I go 100% on LinkedIn and work with my clients and not for my clients, and just show them what I have learned over the 1.5 years I was self-employed at this moment. And I got addicted to coachings as well, but that's a different topic.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay. That gives a lot of context too to where we're at and the speed at which you accelerated your success, right? So I think what probably helped is having the insights of building the websites and realizing, okay, it's like this is me building Noah's Ark, but not telling anybody that Noah's Ark exists, right? And then trying to get the herd to go there, it came back to social media and how do you drive traffic, social media, and then having to figure out how to do all of that stuff. So like doing it for other people is hard. It's hard enough to do it for yourself. It's hard doing it for other people. And so from there, what happened?
When I started to work with my clients, my program first, so it was a decision in August 2022, and I started it in November, 25th of November. So there have been around about 3 months. I had the time for the pivot because I had to end all of the collaborations I had at this point. And yeah, it wasn't that easy than I expected it is. So I first sold my program to 3 people for 1,500 euros, which is very, very cheap for a 6-month program. And yeah, and I improved it with them. And the start was hard because I fell. It was 2 times that I fell for the shiny object syndrome. I thought I could do something else as well. Both of the times it was horrible. So I did one done for you job to my program, and it was horrible because I worked way too much. I haven't had any results I would have been proud of, and the acquisition, everything from my program was stagnating at this point. So yeah, had to learn this lesson twice, very, very hard. And then when I went to the point when I said, okay, no, there's 100% focus on this one, and I know it's tough. I know it's more work than usual, and I know it's not that money right now because obviously you don't start rich basically. So yeah, the moment I figured that out for me, that was the moment where things really took off. When people come to me in LinkedIn, and they come to me all the time and ask, hey, can you write content for me? I don't, or can you do one-on-one coaching or stuff like this? I don't even ask for the price anymore, what they would pay, because I don't care. it's not my focus, so I don't do it. And that's very, very important. And another learning is there will be a lot of temptations out there, because last year a person came to me and he said to me that he will give me 10,000 euros per month if I write his content for 7 days a week, basically. And I said, no, I don't do it. No, because it's just not my focus. And I know it sounds like a lot of money per month, but it's no.
No, amazing. Okay. So I want to come back to the sales calls, because the sales calls, so we figured out your niche, we figured out, how you built your program, and we know that you ended up hiring people in April of 2024, 2023, 2024.
2024.
2024. So to close all of those sales to get your 22K month, and now the process that you figured out for closing sales for your sales team, tell us what that looks like.
Okay, now we get very tactical. We have a very specific process, because I think LinkedIn is an outbound machine if you use it correctly. So we only use our content to get attention, more or less. We don't sell anything with our content. It's only to get attention. And then we use DMs to translate this attention into calls, basically. But the calls are only value calls, the calls where we give value. And that has two major advantages. First and foremost, it's very easy for the setter, or it was me, or if you if you set your own course, it's you. It's very easy to get the course, because you only say, hey, if you're happy, take 30 minutes. I won't sell you anything, I swear. It's a lot easier than getting calls like, hey, you want to take yourself 90 minutes? I will sell you something. It's just harder. So that's the first thing we figured out. It's a lot easier, because I hated sales before when it was very hard to get the sales calls. We have inbound campaigns all the time, and it's not wasn't that easy, and didn't feel that right. So that's the first step. We only use value calls. Should I go into how we do the value calls as well?
Yes, please do tell. There are people here chomping at the popcorn going, come on, Manuel, give us the details.
Perfect. So we get on the call, and we open the call. Like every call, you have to set an agenda, what is happening on this call. If you do anything with anyone, set an agenda. It's very important. Otherwise, you talk about nonsense. So we open the call and we say, hey, we have the next 30 minutes. For us, this call is only here to give you value. Even if you stand in front of me with money throwing, I don't know, we don't take anything, because we know there are a lot of people out there on LinkedIn that say they give you value and they sell you something after this call. We don't do this. We want to distance ourselves from those people. That's the thing. So the prospect knows, oh, easy, nice. I can just talk. And then we listen to them. We ask what their challenges are. And then we are value bombing them. We give them insane value in 20 minutes, kind of. And that's
Give us an example of that value, Manuel.
Of that value, a lot of people, they come to me or to us and they ask for, I don't know, my content, it just, I don't reach a lot of people. And so I need to fix my content process. And then I ask, okay, cool. What's your offer? And then they start to rabble, or they have no clear answer. Okay. And how many DMs do you send to the people who react on your content? Not a lot. And how many engagement do you do for yourself? Oh, not a lot. And then that's basically everything I need to know. And then I go through the whole process where I show them I think it's about 10 minutes. I show them a chart and I say, the first thing you have to know when you start with content, you have to know what you sell. So just get on a Google sheet, write what's your transformation. And that's cool. And that's the cool part, because I'm able to explain my product with this thing. So it's on a media perspective, it works very good. I said, because our transformation is we help our clients from no clients to clients and reach over LinkedIn. It's very easy. Just get your value proposition out there, basically. And then you break it down to pillars. So what are the just take the transformation and take it into pillars, more or less. For us is we fix, first and foremost, we fix your offer. You get a 4-figure offer in around 3,000 to 8,000 euros. Then we get leads for them. We get eyeballs with our content on the offer, and then we use the direct messages to get them on calls. And the third pillar is our sales process. Is we show from, at every touch point with your client where you are, at which stage you are, and then it just how to close them, basically. It's the first time I presented in English. So
you did a great job. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to come on one of your value calls, Manuel. I want to learn how you do this. I love it. It sounds amazing.
And then you just explain it, and then and that's the mistake a lot of people do. And then you say what the elements of your offer, and then they say we have one-on-one coachings, we have group coachings, we have a course. And a lot of people just go out there and say, I sell a course. No one needs a course. What I need is a transformation. So, but what do you do with your offer right now? You just get out and ask people for help, basically. Ask people to just give you feedback. And with people, I mean prospects. You go out, and it's very easy, your first touch point with your clients. It's very, very easy to ask them only for feedback and not give them value or something else. Ask them for feedback. They give you feedback. You can use this information to make perfect content because they tell you their challenges, and that's good, because what's the best content if you tackle challenges of your prospect or of your ideal client? That's the best content you can make. So you get your content out of it. You have the possibility to get clients with this feedback calls, and I just tackle all the problems he had before. I collected and solve it all with this one thing where we start from the offer, basically. And that's very cool. And I think, wow, cool. So I haven't thought about this. And the outcome we want to have from this value call is, okay, if I just got so much value in 30 minutes, what can I get if I work with him? I want to at least listen to what he wants to sell to me. So yeah, and then we asked 2 questions at the end of the value call. It's first question is, have you got value from it? We want a clear yes. If we don't get a clear yes, we add 5 to 10 minutes. If we have that, then we ask just a question. Okay, do you want to hop on another call where we show you the exact process we run our client through? No worries, it's the same laid back conversation like this. We only talk about your challenges, the goals we want to achieve together, and how we could work together. And of course, there's no pressure to buy anything. How does it sound? And most of the people say yes.
Okay, I'm definitely going to be incorporating this into my strategy. So if you have had a conversation like this with me and you're listening back to this podcast, thank you, Manuel.
Perfect.
Amazing. I love it. Folks, this is something everybody can do. And people show up and they think they need to be of service. And a lot of the people I meet, Manuel, they're like, oh my God, I hate feeling salesy on LinkedIn. And you see all those spammy messages coming in and it's like, they're going to try and sell me something. But I love what you're doing, because more and more what I'm seeing is that the number of touch points it takes for people to become clients is increasing. People are slower to buy. They're not making decisions, like rapid decisions, as quickly as they used to before. And a statistic I heard on this in the last week or two, actually from Neil Patel, is that it takes B2B people as many as 16 on average touch points before they'll purchase. And for B2C, it's up to 23 touch points. So all of those, the DM, the confirmation for your call, seeing your content, the value call, the confirmation for your next call, the actual call, all of those are little touch points that help bring you closer to those average numbers. So super smart strategy, super smart.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for sharing it with us, Manuel. Okay, so what happens? So this was what got you to the stage where you're like, shit, now I've got so much of this going on. How can I do this? So now you're at the stage, you've outsourced your content, you've got this sales model down, and you've outsourced sales. So talk to us about outsourcing sales, because I'd say there's a lot of people listening. They maybe outsource their content, but they're not at the outsourcing sales stage. So how did you acquire, or how did you upskill the team to be able to sell just like you sell and not have a detrimental effect on your business?
Okay. That's actually a good question, because I think the value call is already sales as well. And the first stage have been that we outsourced this one, the value call. And that was actually not that easy, because you have to have expertise basically to give value. So we had a lot of trainings basically, and we had a lot of just reviewing all the value calls, and then just train and say, okay, if they come with this problem, say this. If they come with this problem, say this. Because even if you get them from the value call to the sales call, if you don't give enough value, it's just that the sales call, it just gets harder basically, because they think, okay, I'm not good in saying no basically, and they ask me if I want to, so yes, I do, and the no-show rate also increases. So that was the first tough part, to outsource it. But yeah, lots of trainings basically. that's the secret. For me, I almost switched first and foremost. I only gave away not all of the cost, because we had to maintain cash flow basically. So that's maybe a very important thing to say, because otherwise your cash flow tanks. But it is that you lose money basically in the process. That's just the learning that you have to pay basically, because if you train someone, it gets expensive, and sales is very expensive. One time, then we went to the sales course, and we trained one person from 0 to sales basically, and we figured out that we don't want to do this anymore, because it's simple. Sales is simple math. If you think that the person I learned the sales process, it has at least 20% less sales than my best salesman, actually. And if I sell my product for 5,000 euro, that's 1,000 euro per call I pay just to train the person. And that's a lot of money if you think like this. So we only train salespeople with experience right now. So we don't get beginners in basically, because it's just too expensive. Especially when they say they want to learn sales, but they want to stay in sales. So that's just it's something I had to learn. And how to train the sales team, same thing for the value course. Just a lot of trainings basically. And the funny thing is, we have experienced salesmen and not so experienced salesmen, and I just explained the challenges we had with the not experienced salesmen, but we have also challenges with the experienced salesmen, because the sales usually can be kind of dirty, because if you use hard selling methods, if you use what's the term in German, it's called sales truth, which is basically lying, and we don't do that, and we don't want to do it, because it doesn't fit any of our values. So we had to, and I think we have one salesman, and she's like, she wants to get it out of her system, but she learned it the dirty way, because she just learned it like this. It wasn't her fault basically. She wants to get it out, but if you are in high pressure situations in sale, of course you fall back to the things you know and you've learned. But yeah, we figured it out, and now we don't have these sales techniques that are not that, I don't know, good. We don't have them anymore, and that's the thing you have to teach and train and supervise and everything. So and right now I'm at the point where I don't have any sales core anymore for myself.
Wow.
And we're already 6 figures in 25, so it's good.
Wow, amazing. Congratulations, firstly. So you have a team. You have how many people on the team?
8.
8 people on the team. How many of those are salespeople?
4.
And how are you managing all of this? Like, are they full-time? Are you paying them salaries? How does it work?
One of my first clients, my 7th client, Dorian, he knows everything, and right now he's business partner. He took the part of sales, and he's the only one with a full-time salary basically. The other ones are more or less freelancer, but every one of the sales team, and that's very important for me, is also in the customer journey. So they do coaching calls, and they have touch points with the customer, because I think it's important, because if the sales team is detached from the delivery, weird things happen. So they know if they close a people that a person that's just no fit, they have to handle them for themselves. So that's good basically. But to to come back to a question, only Dorian, he's full-time, but also with on commission basis, because he's head of sales. Basically, he takes the most sales calls right now, and the other are with a fixed rate, but with commissions for the closes. And we have commissions for the setter, commissions for the value call, and commissions for the sales call. And it's, if you don't want to know it exactly, 3% for the setter, 6% for the value call, and 10% for the closer. And if you set, and funny thing is, one closer of mine, she's also active on LinkedIn, and she uses her personal brand. If she sees people that are not fit for her, she just closes the person for my program, and then she gets 20% of everything, but she just basically gets client without me lifting a finger. That's very cool. It's a win-win.
Total win-win, total win-win. Okay, so let me ask this question then. How did you find these salespeople? And what kind of interviews do you take them through? Because like I think there's a lot of people out there who, first off, if actually let me go back a step. If you're not good at sales, that's a skill you need to learn. If you're not
Yeah.
good at sales and you're struggling with that, actually send me a DM on LinkedIn and I can connect you with some people who do sales stuff. In my program, Business Accelerator, we do cover my framework, which is 6S sales success strategy. And in there, it's a technique that I used when I worked in banking. It's very solution focused. And actually, I teach you how to coach your clients. So you're coaching your clients to identify if they have a problem, and you're not selling them shit that they don't need or want. Because like Manuel, that does not align with my values either. So you're helping them identify or understand if they have a problem. You're asking them if they're committed to solving it. And if they are, with their permission, then you explain what your offer is. That's kind of my framework. But if that's something you need help with, please reach out to me, because you're never going to hit figures or numbers like this if you're in that situation. And to scale, then, if you're at the position where you've learned this skill yourself and you're ready to supervise people like Manuel does, where do you find these people, Manuel, who will come in and do freelance sales stuff for you?
That's a funny thing, because the first three people of my team basically they came out of my program. I just this it sounds odd, but they gave me money to train them, and now I pay them. So that's actually cool. And then I'm no recruiting pro at all. I don't know how to recruit people without. I think it's not the phase right now, because I think we grow and grow more into the position where we need to get more and more talent in, people that are really smarter than all of the people that are already in. But I'm not in the phase revenue wise already to can afford those kind of people. So I was asking around. Basically, that was everything I did. I was asking around and say, I need someone for this position. And then I asked everything in every call, and I sent it out to my Slack community. And I didn't even reach out on LinkedIn yet. I didn't even use that community, but I just asked people, and they either they know someone or they know someone who knows someone, and that's basically the approach I took. It's not perfect, not at all, but yeah, that's it, for me. It's they have to be a fit on a human level and on a, I don't know, they just have to be smart. And it's not about the things they did, their education, or that they worked, I don't know, 20 years somewhere. No, it's just, are you willing to learn, and are you aligned with our vision? And that's the most important thing right now. But I have to learn a lot on this thing. Maybe it will be the next big coaching I will invest in. Yeah.
Fantastic. Manuel, oh my gosh, you have given so many insights into your journey and your story and what's led to your success. So much that I think people listening can maybe take some of that and apply it in their journey to help them get some traction and acceleration in terms of mastering their business. Is there anything else, Manuel, that you feel, oh, I wish Deirdre had asked me that, that would have been helpful?
Actually, not. I enjoyed the conversation a lot, because I love talking about those kind of things. And yeah, I think you structured it very good from the upcoming, and then you got the questions on the process. It was a very, very delightful conversation. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And tell me what's coming up for you and where can people reach you?
What's coming up for me this year is business as usual. It's the part where things, I don't know, get hard because we have to repeat the successful tasks and don't do anything new because that's the shiny object I mentioned. So yeah, I'm in that phase. And yeah, if you're German speaking and love to and use German speaking market or serve for German speaking market, then you can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Manuel Hartbauer, and that's the only channel I use. I have a newsletter as well, and I started a podcast for myself this year. We've already 5 episodes, and we do 1 to 2 episodes per week. So if you're interested in this, and you want to hear me in German, yeah, just have a look. And thanks.
Yeah, ich habe Deutsch in der Schule gelernt.
Perfect.
That's about all I can remember to say.
That's enough. It's not that a good language. I love English. I like English more, actually.
Manuel,
Okay.
tell us, what's the name of your podcast if people want to go and check it out?
It's just called Learn mit Manuel Hartbauer, and mit means with in German. So yeah,
Mit,
just type in my name and you find it, and it's called Learn. Yeah.
Fantastic. Manuel, well, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for your candidness and openness and transparency. And yeah, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks a lot.
All right, let's recap the gold from today's conversation with Manuel Hartbauer. Simplicity wins. Niching down to one offer, one client, one platform totally skyrocketed his business. Sales definitely don't have to be sleazy. I loved his value first call strategy. It makes selling so effortless. Let me know, is this something that you might adapt in your business going forward? Scaling means letting go of some of the things that you're already really good at, and hiring the right team can allow you to step out of those things into the things that are really time consuming and focus on the next area of your business that will help you scale. So for Manuel, that meant hiring the right team allowed him to step fully out of sales and content creation. Oh my gosh, just imagine what that could do for your business. So your action step or your mission, should you choose to accept it today to help you make your first 6 or 7 figures, is to take a really hard look at your business. Where are you overcomplicating things? Where can you simplify? Where can you streamline? Or what could you delegate? Okay, folks, if you found this episode valuable, do me a solid, please share it. Send it to a business buddy, somebody who needs to hear it. And if you haven't yet, wherever you're listening to this episode today, please do me a favor and rate it, review it, and follow the show. Your support helps us bring more high value episodes your way. If you want to connect with Manuel, you'll find him on LinkedIn. Just go, his details are in the show notes. You can click them there. Or check out his program as well, Natürlich zu Kunden, if you're German speaking. Until next time, keep mastering your business.